Hey class, so this is our last lesson. So probability, interpret probability. So just a reminder, experimental probability, okay, it's the number of successful trials divided by the number of total trials. And theoretical probability, okay, is the number of possible successful trials over the number of possible outcomes. So let's look at an example. A local radio station surveyed 200 students. Okay, so for question A, we're just going to do here, all they're asking us is to put them into decimal form. So we're going to get rid of this part of the question. You don't need to do fraction. I've really kind of just been having you work with decimals. So if 45%, if we want to convert that to a decimal, we would divide by 100, right? Which is 0.45. So divide 35% by 100, which is 0.35. Divide 20%, which is 0.2. Okay, so those values are going to become important because we're going to use them in the next question. So the next question said, if there were 5,000 high school students in the city, how many of them would you expect to like rock, pop, and country? So if we were to look at rock, we know there's 5,000 students, and we know that approximately 45% like rock. So we multiply it by the decimal value like we always do. We always take percents and work with them in decimals. We get 2,250. And we continue to do the same for the others. So pop, 5,000 students times 0.35. Okay, we end up getting 1,750. And then country, again, 5,000 students times 0.2, so 20%, okay, is going to give us 1,000. So the other thing to notice is that if you add those all together, that's going to give us the 5,000 students, right? So because all those percents added to 100%, okay, which is what we're looking for in this study. So question C, is it possible that the poll might not be accurate? What fraction could have influenced the responses? Okay, so yeah, yes, it is possible, right? Yes. Right? Okay. It could be dependent on the area you live in. Okay? Right? The music students are into at that school. So there's a bunch of reasons why we could go on forever. That might not be it, but it just gives us a generalization about what those values would be around. Okay? So there's one more example. After 23 games, Leafs have 28 points. If this trend continues, they play 25 more games this season. Can you predict how many points it will have? Teams are awarded 2 points for a win, 1 point of an overtime loss, and no points for a loss. Okay. So essentially, if you have 28 points, okay, in 23 games, okay, what we're saying is, you had 14 wins and 9 losses, right? So you had 14 wins and 9 losses to get those points, right? Because 14 is like saying 28 points, okay? And you get 1 point for an overtime loss, but we're not going to count that, okay? We're not going to look at it that way, so you don't even really have to worry about that aspect. So what we're saying is out of the 14 wins, they played 23 times, right? Times 100%. So their percentage of winning is 60.9%. So that's what we call the win percentage. And you probably have heard those terms before on like Sports Network as well. Okay, so what I would say is like round that, approximately 61%. So what we want to do then next is we want to find 61% of the next 25 games. Okay, so we're going to do what we just did in the previous question. We're going to say 25 times 0.61. So remember, always convert to a decimal, okay? And that's going to give us 15.25, okay? So we're going to go to the closest. We're going to round. So we're going to say, therefore, in 25 more games, the Leafs should accumulate 15 more points for a total of, and so little side, right? So they've already have 28 points plus the other 15 points, right? Oh, but here's the other thing. So it's not 15, right? It's 15 times 2, because that's how many wins they have. So now we're looking at points. Okay, should be 30 points. Okay. Should be 30 points. Because we're just taking those wins. These are the wins. These are the points awarded. Okay. And remember, we already have 28 points and the 30. So we can add those together to get a total, okay, of 58 points. Okay. So for a total of 58 points. So again, a little bit different of a look at probability is using percentages to find values, okay? But you have done that type of math before. That's not new to you. We even did that in review. So homework today is page 89, numbers 1 to 4, 7, and 9A. Okay. Just a reminder, Monday's going to be review. Okay. Tuesday will be unit assessment. Have a great day.